Okay, so today I am going to be reviewing an airplane. And this isn't just any airplane, this is my first airplane review, but also this is the 1958 Travel Air Beech 95. This is a super limited production, well maybe not super limited production, but this is a super special edition airplane that is a really sought after machine. And so without further ado, let's get into the specs. This car is powered by two 0360 Lycoming engines that create 180 horsepower apiece. So altogether, this bad boy creates 360 horsepower from both of those engines. And one funny part is that this is actually called the Baby Baron. And the reason why is because there was this, and then a year later, well, in 1960, then you had the Travel Air Baron. This is called the Travel Air Baby Baron, or at least that's what the nickname is. And yeah, so the one main difference between this and the Travel Air Baron is actually that this doesn't have an airtight cabin. So when you go above 10,000 feet, you actually have to wear breathing masks or else you won't be able to breathe. But with the Baron, you actually don't need any of that because it's actually a pressurized cabin, and yeah, so you could fly as high as you want without having to wear a mask. Also, this thing could hit a phenomenal top speed of 236 miles an hour, and the pilot has actually reached 226 miles an hour, and this specific one is for sale. So comment down below if you're interested in buying it. And so yeah, I think I've told you all the specs. These things are super limited production, and so now that I've told you that, let's take a closer look at the design. Okay, so first thing first, let's start off with the front of this airplane. So this is actually my first airplane review, so to tell the truth, I don't know much about airplanes, so this is just going to be pretty much a beginner's review. So comment down below to just if you guys know a better way. But yeah, so first thing is this nose cone, and that is actually plastic, and it's shaped kind of like the front of a teardrop and the roof as well for aerodynamics, because the teardrop is actually the most aerodynamic shape. And I'm about to tell you all something that aerodynamically wise will blow your mind. Did you know that there's something more aerodynamic than a teardrop? 99% of people don't know this, but it is actually the penguin. A penguin, just like this, is actually the most aerodynamic shape in the world, with a drag coefficient of 0.01 or 0.02. But yeah, so you got the air intakes there, your wheel with the suspension here, and then you actually have an exhaust, two exhausts here, interestingly enough. And yeah, you got these like pieces of metal, I don't know, maybe for aerodynamics, or no, they close when the wheel's up and when you're in the air. And then you have these beautiful twin engines. And one other fun fact is actually that, do you know the way you push an airplane? It is actually by here. So you either push it by here because the propellers, they spin at up to 2,700 RPM. And so that's actually one of the strongest parts of the airplane. And the other part is actually right here, because this is the connector, and so that's super strong. Because if you look at the wheels, check this out. You can actually kind of see the wheels are moving, which is pretty interesting. And you got your radiators there, some more under there. And then you come around here and you have this beautiful shaped wing with actually a front light, an LED light that's actually upgraded. And then you have your fuel nozzle right there. And if you come to the side of this is actually the shape of kind of like a teardrop extended, and that's one of the most aerodynamic shapes. Is actually prevalent on wings of supercars and stuff like that. And you have those red LEDs there, and these actually control if the plane goes left or right, they go up or down, both of these right here, and these are like super beautifully shaped. One thing I could have changed though, I feel like, was these like exposed things. I mean, it shows as vintage and they actually look pretty cool, but for aerodynamics, it's not the greatest. And yeah, you got your cool Travel Air sticker there. This thing is literally 60 years old and it can hit speeds of 236 miles an hour. So I think this thing is one good buy, and these things are worth about 170 grand. And so also you got your little wing there, and this also controls with a little extra piece and like little suspension struts there, interestingly enough. You got your back LED here, and if you actually look from back here, the entire plane is kind of shaped like a teardrop if you look from the top, but it's kind of hard to see from down. And yeah. Also, you got this like step right here that's actually shaped like a teardrop, interestingly enough. And then also this is the piece of the wing. There's a nice little handle there. And they actually have this stuff so you don't scrape up the wing. And this is actually how you enter the plane, which is pretty interesting. And also, another thing I want to show y'all was this. Check out. You have one fuel tank right there, and then one fuel tank right here. So that's a fuel tank and that's a fuel tank, and pretty much this entire wing, both of these wings are entirely just fuel tanks. And yeah, so you could drive about, well, fly about, I believe, like 1,000 miles or something like that with all the fuel tanks full, which is, I mean, not bad. And then you got an air intake over there, little antenna, another little blinker light there. And then these pieces right here, I'm not sure if those are for aerodynamics or what, but they look pretty interesting. And you have this little piece right there. I'm not sure what that's for. And yeah, if you look at the overall shape of the plane, it is straight up mimics the shape of a teardrop from like right here to here. And of course, that's the most aerodynamic shape. And then also, if you look right there, there's so many teardrop-like shapes on this plane because, of course, that's the most aerodynamic shape. And yeah. So, now let's hop inside. And before we do that, I just want to show y'all one more thing. You have to kind of be careful stepping down here. But yeah. So come around here and check out this massive rear, I don't know really what to call this, but this massive rear fin, I guess you could call it. There's 3 different moving parts here, and the design is pretty neat. Now, you have a sense of design. I'm not sure if it's for aerodynamics, or maybe for like, I don't know, just the way the metal is, but yeah. And really, I feel like it's not extremely detailed, at least the exterior, it's pretty simple. So this review, or whatever, it's not going to be too long. And you got your flat underbody. And so now let's hop inside. I'm pretty excited. You could actually fit 5 people in here. You could fit 4 people in here. And if you have a child like me, you could actually install an extra seat right there for a child to sit in, which is pretty neat. And so now let's open this. I've actually always wanted to be in one of these small types of Beechcrafts before. So let's open that up. Just got a little strut system there. So now we're in the beach plane. Let's see. Yeah. And surprisingly, I think something that could go 230 miles an hour, it'd be actually uncomfortable, at least in my opinion, but this is surprisingly comfortable. You got nice tan trim here. Really interesting twin steering wheels, which are nice. And then you got your throttle, push. To tell the truth, I don't know what half these dials mean, but I know some of them show you speed, your RPM, your altitude, your vertical speed, shows you where you are, everything like that. You have a smart chargers there, 5 of them. And then people actually put iPad Air panel right here, so you could just connect it up here, and you could use it to see how high you are and stuff like that. And also, I guess you have Stratus, you have your Garmin. Oh, that's actually an old school navigation system. And then you have an ancient radio, it looks like. Or maybe it's not a radio. And also, we got to check out this tech. Check it out, an old Garmin map here. You have to pick up 6 satellites in order for the map to turn on, which is pretty interesting. And it shows you the time, your coordinates, everything like that. And then also you have your, what are they called?
This is oil temp.
Yeah.
Engine.
Your oil temp and engine monitors. And then your main flying, it shows you how high you are and everything like that. And then you have your GPS as well, which is pretty cool. And yeah.
And you are being supervised by an adult who is in the pilot's seat.
And yeah. Also, you got these little pieces right here that will block the sun if you're flying high over the clouds. And then you have little air, it blows air from outside in, and you have your instrument lights, and that's actually turned them on so you could read the map, because of course before they didn't have iPad Airs, and you could turn on the air there as well. And yeah, I mean the interior, let's try these seatbelts out. The interior is surprisingly luxurious. I think, let's see. I had to put that down for a second. Yeah, the seats are actually surprisingly good as well. You just pull this piece up like an old car, and they're pretty nice. Actually, not too bad. You could put something on here maybe to make it softer, and you just pop that up, and they disconnect. And yeah. Also, you have a great amount of leg room. You got your pedals here, and now I think let's hop in the back. Before, I want to just show you one more thing. It's actually this. You have a window that you could keep open at 144 miles an hour, which, to tell the truth, I don't know how smart it is. And yeah. So now let's see if we can hop into the back of this super cool plane. Okay, so now we're in the back seats of this neat plane, and you have nice windows that latch open if you want some fresh air. Sadly, you don't got seat buckles, but it isn't a big problem. You can just grab onto these handles when they're closed. And yeah, you got a great amount of leg room, storage for whatever you need, and a smaller window back here. And these can move back and forth, which is pretty nice. And you can also attach headrests. I'm not sure if this is original or aftermarket, but they sure are luxurious for the 1958. And then you could have your space for the seats. And one thing I actually want to tell y'all, and I forgot to tell y'all, is actually that this was pretty much, I forgot the name of it, but there was a beach plane. It was started with a B, and there was a 2-engine version and 1-engine version. And the actual reason they made this is so that people who didn't want the 1-engine version, the smaller version, but didn't want the massive version, they could just have a medium-sized version, because people who grew out of flying such small planes, if they wanted to fit more passengers, that's pretty much what this is for. Because this has 4 seats. I believe it's called the Bonanza. The 1-engine one has 2 seats, and the normal Baron, that has 6 seats. And yeah. So also there's nice materials in here. I'm not really sure what that's for, but you got your air flow right there, little lights or speakers right there, and yeah, you got plush material here, and it really is pretty luxurious. I'm actually surprised at such an old plane being so luxurious, but it's comfortable. I mean, I think it's relatively safe for a smaller beach plane, and yeah. Oh, and actually, you can just pull these forward. I didn't even realize that, but I wonder how good that is for if you're stopping quickly, you're just gonna fly forward or maybe. It's probably not that good though, because I noticed that this actually comes forward. I was all getting in the middle way, but I wonder, will you fly forward when you're trying to do this? I mean, you guys tell me in the comments below. But yeah. So let's close that. And yeah, so let's hop out and near the end of our video. It's kind of hard to get off of there onto there. But yeah, so I hope you liked this video. Remember to like and subscribe to Xaaron Reviews, and see y'all next time. And comment down below what y'all think of this beautiful old plane. And also, contact me, just comment below, if you want to buy this plane for, I'm not exactly sure, but if you contact me, then I'll tell you. And see y'all next time.